Meet Serena, your virtual companion for emotional support. The ultimate safe space to discuss your thoughts, your fears, and the ups and downs of daily life. Start your free trial today at serena.chat.
I, 23, M. Just found out that my girlfriend, 19, F. was planning on to meet up with a guy she slept with. We have been in a relationship for 6 months and we have been in our honeymoon phase. For the context, I moved from our city to new one because of university and she came with me for a summer. Now we are on the vacay with my friends and some situation came across. Today I woke up and went to check the time. My GFS phone was the closest. So I picked it up and turned it on. I saw there was a lot of notifications on Instagram from a guy that she had a past with. The last message from him was, "I'll text you later." I went and read the convo. They were texting about meeting up once she will came back to the city that I moved into. In the past she traveled whole country, which is probably like 6 hours drive just to have sex with them. So I read their conversation and found out that they were texting each other. Not active texting, but responding to the stories, sending reels etc. Later on she does that I'm acting strange. I told her that we are going to have a talk once we will come home. She knew that I read the messages and she told me that she knows. Then she proceeded to telling me about how she was lying to him, she wasn't going anywhere with him etc. OFC I didn't believe her so she blocked him. I told her it's not about blocking and lying to him. She was lying to me and gave the other guy a hope and the attention. I was asking her why is she still in a contact with a guy she slept with and she had no response. Now I'm feeling betrayed, cheated on, in a light form but still, and I feel like I'm about to puke. I need an opinion of a third party because I can't ask my friends because I don't want to ruin their vacation. Should I reconsider our relationship? Edit. I've read a lot of comments on this post so I decided to give you a little background about me and her. I'm 23 but it doesn't mean that I need to look for something serious. I'm in my college years and I'm not thinking about marrying someone. Also I have 3 years rule which is basically not talking about kids, building houses, buying our car and other thing that should be talk about after wedding. Till we will get through 3rd year of our relationship. 3rd year is a critical year. I was single after my first relationship for 3 years and I've slept with a few women. I'm not the type of a guy who will sleep with every woman he talks to because I don't want to Dayanist myself. I wouldn't consider myself ugly cause I'm working out 5x a week. I'm extroverted person. I get a lot of compliments so it's not that I don't have options. I wasn't even looking for a relationship but she got my attention after I first met her. She may be 19 but her mind is somewhere between 22–25. She grew up alone with her dad because her mom cheated on him so she had to take care of a house because her dad was working morning and night shifts to provide her a decent life and she was the one that held him from falling apart. She is very mature, ambitious and intelligent for her age. Even my friends, age group from 22 to 30, told me that they didn't even notice her age and were surprised by her. And about that 6 months of relationship. There was never a doubt from neither me or her. We could have left our phones with the other for a whole day and never get suspicious. I was a little bit realistic and I was seeing the other side of a relationship that you usually see after a year. She was wearing a pink glasses which blocked reality for her. Fast forward, we talked about it yesterday. I told her how I was feeling and how I'm feeling RN. I told her that I have a feeling that this relationship found its dead end etc. She was crying OFC and wasn't denying anything she did. She blocked him everywhere and we agreed to not talk about till we are on the vacay but once we will get home we will have a serious conversation. And yeah, I'm thinking about breaking up. I'm afraid you should. She doesn't sound like she is being honest and you can easily unblock someone later. She made plans with this guy and when you found out her reaction was completely sus. I can't see any reason she won't see this guy as planned. I'm sorry this has happened to you. Stop dating teenagers. Why is she still your girlfriend? Come on dude. Man shrugging, medium skin tone. She was already going to cheat 6 months? She should be obsessed with you. Dump, block, move on. Yeah. If you hadn't read those messages they would have definitely hooked up. They still might. I wouldn't be able to trust her but you need to trust your gut. How do I, 35M, convince my wife, 33F, that I am not cheating? Too long did not read. My wife found items that could be construed as evidence of cheating, and I don't know how to prove I am not. This all just happened within the last hour. After dropping the kids off at daycare like I usually do, I came down to my home office to start working. My wife had been going through a basket of unfolded laundry looking for some clothes for the day and found a kind of crop top, tank top thing in the laundry. She came into my office to ask me where it came from. At first, I just kind of shrugged and said I wasn't sure, but soon realized that this had triggered a firestorm of fears that I had someone over to the house and was cheating. I tried to assure her that I was not, but I realized I had no way to prove that I wasn't. We have had a few people stay over at the house over the last several months: her sister's family, my mom and nephew, another married couple. But this was a smaller top that likely would not have fit them. When I realized this was a bigger issue, I kind of started to panic that I had no way to prove I didn't do anything wrong, but that must not have looked very good either. To top it off, she said she found a piece of chipped nail polish on the center console of my car by the shifter recently, but she hasn't had nail polish in several months either. However, my car has been pretty dirty for a while because of having small children and being too busy to clean it out. I think it could have been her old nail polish or even some other kind of debris. Some backstory: before we were together, she was with a couple guys that cheated on her and generally did not treat her very well. So, she tends not to believe someone that says they aren't cheating if she suspects they are. We have been together for 9 years, married for 7. To be clear, I did not cheat. I have never cheated on anyone. But I have no plausible explanation for either of these items and I feel like I am guilty until proven innocent. She said she would rather know the truth and has given a 24-hour window for me to come clean if I cheated. But I didn't, and there is truly nothing to come clean about. I worry that this will forever live in the back of her mind, and that she will never trust me again. How can we fix this situation? Look for the owner of the crop top, that solves that. Check the color of the nails and remind her of her palette. People who've been cheated on go through understated amounts of mental stress, and the body doesn't differentiate physical stress from mental stress. It's all stress. So she's having an intense reaction. Not your fault. Just like other things, this can be helped through work, patience, and tolerance. Sit down and make a list of all the folks who have been in your home recently, and contact them and ask if the clothing item belongs to them. Even if you assume it's too small or whatever. That's about the best you can do. Try to find the owner of the crop top, that will probably help. Give her your phone and access to any other electronics. Track down the owner of the crop top. You both need to be in couples therapy so that she can learn how to trust you and stop punishing you for the mistakes of past relationships. Right now, there's no way you can convince her that you weren't cheating, as she is fixated on the idea in her head that you did cheat. I am 37 female, leaving my husband, 36 m, after being married less than a month. What do I do? I, 37 female, have been with my husband, 36 Malayale, for over 5 years. We recently married. Hasn't even been a month yet. I am 7 months pregnant with our first child together. We are a blended family of 6. He has 3 kids, 2 of whom lives with us. My husband's sister, 30 female, and her 2 kids, 9 female and 5 m, recently moved in with us. It's been about a week and I hate it. To begin, my husband never asked me if I was okay with her moving in. I found out through conversation with her. I can't tell you exactly why she's here, but I'm sure it's because she's a single mother and struggles. Our household was not the only or even best option. Their parents have a house with plenty of room. Now my issues. I tried discussing with my husband the living arrangements prior to her moving in. Our 3 kids all have their own bedroom. His sister is occupying our extra master bedroom. So she has plenty of space. My husband told our kids Saturday morning to pack their rooms up because everyone's rooms would be changing. Our girls, 15 and 12, would be moving into our teen son, 16, room together. It's the biggest of the 3 and our son would be getting the second biggest room while his niece and nephew get the smallest room. This is a decision that was never discussed with me. Our girls tried compromising with him. They agreed to let the 9 years sleep with them while the 5-year-old remains in the room with his mom. My husband said no. I suggested that his niece could stay in the room with my daughter and my daughter advised she's okay with that, she just doesn't want to lose her room. He denied that request. He stated that his niece and nephew shouldn't be uncomfortable while living here. I feel completely uncomfortable and disrespected in his home. I packed my daughter's room and she is now sleeping on the couch. I told him I would be moving because he is making decisions for our household as if it's just his. He responded, I'm overreacting. What should I do? You are not overreacting. He made decisions for your life that were not even discussed with you. How long does he plan on having his sister live there? I'd leave him, too. Is that even legal? To have that many people in one house? I am with you. Move out. Annul the marriage and focus on your own kids. Him making those kind of unilateral decisions, has it always been that way? You aren't overreacting. He's being dominating and inconsiderate. Not to mention being unfair to you, your kid, and his own children. That's not how a partnership works. And not only is he unilaterally making decisions, he's minimizing your totally valid feelings. You move yourself and daughter out as stated. If you stay, he will always make all the decisions and never listen to you. So after the wedding he suddenly changed? Good luck being married to him. I, 23M, have been dealing with culture shock after meeting my GFS, 23F, family. So I am a Caucasian male and my girlfriend is an Indian female. We have been together 2 years and I love her to death. Possibly considering marriage a little further down the line. But this last month I've met some of her relatives from India as they came to the States for her brother's wedding. Her mom invited my family to the wedding and a lot of her male relatives from India simply refused to acknowledge my mom and sister's existence. I would be talking to someone trying to make a good impression when my mom would come up and join the conversation, invited by me, and I would introduce her. But they would only respond to me or speak over her like she wasn't there. This really didn't sit right with me. Not to mention that the entire Indian wedding experience was new and a lot for me. I tried talking to my girlfriend about it and she essentially told me that's how it goes and brushed it off. Any advice for dealing with this issue? Update. Thank you all for the advice. I talked with her this morning and went more in depth with how I was feeling about her brushing me off and how much it upset my mother. She agrees that it's not right and apologized for not realizing how much it had upset us both. But that being said, she also informed me that unfortunately that is the way they were brought up and she can't really do much about it. Which I totally understand and respect. She suggested that we will be avoiding them when possible, but if we have to deal with misogyny once every few years at a function, we will get through it together. I'm not holding her family's actions or anything against her, she is a wonderful person. Her family that lives in the States have never been anything but respectful to my entire family either. There are most definitely aspects of Indian culture that I love, but I am sure I still have a lot to learn. So my family is from the Middle East and some from India, and while I've never been straight up ignored in convos, that seems extra AF. The culture is very male dominated. People will ask my husband questions about me while I'm standing right there. We kinda just avoid seeing those family members at all cost. Blatantly ignoring a woman who's speaking to you is not something I've witnessed, more so dismissal or belittling, but sadly it doesn't really surprise me. I'll say this, being in a mixed culture relationship is work. But if you love your girlfriend and she isn't like that and also dislikes how they are, you can definitely work together to set up boundaries from the family. Well, I think firstly you should talk to your girlfriend about this, and maybe even her mom if you have that kind of relationship with her and feel comfortable doing so. They'll be best equipped to give you advice on how to navigate relationships with their own family members. But I think ultimately it really comes down to how close she is to these family members and how often you'd have to interact with them and be exposed to those parts of her culture if you were to marry her. You'll have to decide what the threshold is for you, because obviously there's nothing you can do to change them. Maybe try and have another conversation with your girlfriend and explain how disrespectful you and your mom feel. I hope Op is well versed in this little thing called the caste system. Indian men grow up in a culture where men and women are segregated. They are shy and anxious when talked to women. The gender segregation has done a huge disservice to Indian men and women. You won't believe, but when I first went to college, my male classmate refused to sit with me because he never sit with or talk to women. He got a good lecture from our teacher. But that's how things are here.